There were a couple of comments online. John Litt wants to know when Primary Sense is going to South Australia.
PHN is coming online in South Australia next year.
Right, so there's a PHN coming online next year, John. There was a comment from an anonymous person saying that their obstetricians recommend against people having flu injections at various times. I can remember writing to an obstetrician on the Gold Coast, suggesting that the medical board would be interested if he didn't stop telling pregnant women that they shouldn't have a flu vaccine. So obviously there is some issues to do with some of our clinical colleagues as to whether or not they feel that they should be following national guidelines for this. So questions to anybody at this particular stage? Everybody's thinking of the Friday afternoon beers. Andrew Minton, can I just clarify? Drinks are being provided by the IC. Is that? That was a no. Sorry. Jennifer, exciting stuff happening in that space. What are the plans moving forward?
Thanks, Paul. Well, we were very encouraged that the Department of Health, as you probably know, has a National Immunisation Strategy consultation open, and it was extended to the 19th, so next Wednesday. And they've encouraged us to put in some draft recommendations from the conference, which we're scrabbling to pull together and do. We had great momentum, I think, from the people that attended. Will we have another one? Potentially, not annually. I would think perhaps in a couple of years. I think what we really want to do now is quantify some concrete objectives coming from the recommendations that we can actually track progress on, and then gather in 2 years' time to see how we've made some progress. For me, the sort of burning platforms right now are probably a national partnership on product development, both for global health needs and for for-profit vaccines, and a national clinical trial network. We really need both those things.
And certainly the Australian CDC could help with the second of those. Yeah.
Well, I think regardless of the CDC, and we obviously know we're waiting for more information on the setup and the establishment there. I think that the goals of the Department of Industry, which are to attract industry investment, clinical trials, build the skilled workforce, and contribute more to global product development, we need a national capability of that. So many people have just come back from Bio in the US, and there are a lot of companies, that Novavax being one, who do a lot of clinical trial activity in Australia, and they come here because of the quality of the research infrastructure, the quality of the researchers, and the populations they can access. But we can do more to grow our share in trials, and having a national capability that we can promote is key.
Yeah, and I think there's, particularly for GPs in the audience and online, I think there's a real opportunity to get more clinical trials happening in general practice. And I think some of the electronic solutions for GPs having information can also be used for data mining to actually answer how effective those vaccines have been at improving outcomes in their patients. So I think that's something that we can also look at, because I think at the moment in Australia, we don't do a huge amount in that space. And it'd be something I'm very keen to see us increase.
I think also with the data mining, we can mine data for things like medical certificates, time off work, that sort of stuff that we've never traditionally had great access to, that, you know, maybe now is data mineable. And things like the unexpected benefits of vaccines, like the Zostavax and dementia story. You know, if we can prove that vaccines not only prevent the disease, but have other spin-off effects. You know, I just did a media the other day on vaccine hesitancy on the Gold Coast, and I was sewing up a patient and talking to them about the media experience. And I'm like, and you know, shingles reduces your risk of heart attacks and strokes. A lot of people don't know that. She's like, I didn't know that, shingles vaccine. So, you know, patients don't know the other spin-off benefits that aren't just disease related, and it often gets them across the line. It did on that day.
Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Another question online. Now there are more monoclonal antibodies available. Should these be considered for the NIP and uploaded into air? They are not vaccines, and I think that's been covered by Peter, but perhaps
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. The answer is yes. Apparently, it needs a legislative change, and I don't know when that's going to happen. But I was very disappointed to hear it need legislative change. That means that we won't actually have a national Nirsevimab program next year. I wouldn't have thought at this point.
I mean, I think that's a real risk, and it's a tragedy if that's the case, I think.
I agree.